Hello, I'm MK Davis. A few days ago, I had a video out that dealt with the subject of the Bluff Creek film site where the famous Patterson Bigfoot film was taken. And an individual contacted me and said that he had taken one of the still photos of Bob Gimlin, and he wanted me to take the video down because it was copyrighted. So I did. I took it down. And so I'm going to redo the video now, hopefully with just as interesting material, but I'm going to do that part differently. So let's just, go take a look at what I have on the film site. All right. Let's just take a look. These are photos by Al Hodson. Al Hodson was like the go-to guy there in Willow Creek. He's passed away now, but he was pretty much the center hub of Bigfoot activity. And he was around when a lot of the really big things were going on there. And he had these images that he shared with me. This is one that I brightened up so that I could see up into the woods. Okay. The part of the part that I had to take the video down for that had Bob Gimlin in it was showing this tree right here. Some individuals who claim the film site is not here, but is in fact upstream, they showed Bob in front of a tree that was of the same species, but Bob could cover it from shoulder to shoulder, cover the tree up. And I think you'll see that that can't be done here. Trees don't shrink with age, they grow. So that wasn't an example of the film site. This is Al's son. I think his name was Mark, but it could have been Mike. And he's got a gauge here for measuring depth and height. He's showing right there the direction that the film subject took. You'll see this famous log right here. And here's that tree. And there he is holding that. He's 6'1". He's not that much shorter than the creature. Only a little bit. And here is the one and only Peter Byrne. You'll see Peter's quite a ways toward the camera from that tree. If you moved him back toward that tree, he would shrink until he would be occupying a space not much bigger than his cursor. That's a really large tree. They didn't do their homework when they were using that smaller tree. Peter did his homework, though. He walked from the bridge, and when he made it here, he counted his steps, every one of them in a military fashion that he was taught to do in the military, and he came up with 2.1 miles, or around 2 miles, to the film site from the bridge. You see the film site's kind of grown up a little bit by this time with brush, light-duty stuff. Still has all the debris and stuff from all this was deposited and with a big flood they had in 1964. Peter's deceased now. Real loss for the Bigfoot community. one of the four horsemen, they call him. And I think he rode a mighty steed. Kind of looks like he's hitching a ride, don't it? And there is Mike or Mark. 6'1" 3/4 inches is what they have him at. I think that's it, yeah. I'm going to go back. Take a look at this log right here. You'll see that it's got bands on it. 1, 2, 3 bands that I can see. And it's got a steel cable going across it right here. The reason why is because this is a logger's landing. There were 2 roads going down to this site, and they brought logging trucks down here and loaded them up on 18-wheelers. So it was packed tight. I'll give you an example. All right, here's one of the roads right here. You see how hard packed it is? Look at how far the horses are sinking up. It's clippity-clop, just like a paved road. And that's the bed of Bluff Creek. You could drive a vehicle, you could drive your Cadillac down there. Now let me go back. Here's this cable. So let's go and talk about the cables. There we go. This is the cables that just in the bed of the creek. You see the size of them. This is cable that is capable of picking up multiple logs at one time and load them on trucks. You wouldn't find that just anywhere. It would be around that logger's landing. There's another one kind of off there in the distance. See it? Now, let me see if I can find the other one. Not that one. Oh, well, I guess I'd have to go find it. I thought I had it up here. Oh well. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. See those big logs right there? You see the size of those logs? You see that vehicle? This is in the bed of Bluff Creek. That's why they break those big cables. They get 4 or 5 of these logs and put them on that 18-wheeler, and drive it out of there. We'll look at some of those roads that they had there. I showed you one. Now let me go back there. Uh-oh. Here we go. Here's one right here. It's kind of a rough road, but 18-wheeler go down it. That goes to the Patterson film site. Loggers Landing. We'll just discuss some more of these. Okay. This was taken by Mr. Peter Gattila, who went to the film site at least once a year, maybe twice a year. He went because it was a spiritual thing. It was he believed it to be a sacred place. He was aware that it was sacred for the Indians. This is the film site. He took this photo in 1980. This is the film site. You see, it still looks like the film site in 1980. And he took this photo. It's logging going on there, which is what the whole thing was about. Logging on sacred Indian land, and then Bigfoot. Here's Peter Gattila and his wife, or either girlfriend, I'm not sure which. And then there's Renee DeHinden there at Bluff Creek. Here's the Bluff Creek Bridge way back in the day. Me and my son and Don Monroe hiked all the way in there. The gate was closed, and we just walked in there on foot. And I got there first, and my son came in and sat down right there. And Don brought up the rear, and all that is in woods now, but it was bald up here on the hill at the time this was taken. Here's the entry into the film site from downstream. It hasn't really changed a lot, at least it didn't when I took my photos. You see it opens up back in here and becomes wide, so the two gentlemen would have ridden right through here and gotten up here and had their encounter. It's kind of a gateway to the film site. I'm not sure what this is. I think it's Aikens Creek. Now here's Peter Gattila's photo in 1980, and here's my photo in 2005. It's the same. It's just a little more grown up, but not that much more. You see the big willow trees right here and over here. And look, it's pretty much the same. It's easy to recognize. It's that, you know, this thing about going to relocate the Patterson film site it's never been lost. There's been steady visitation to this site by people who absolutely knew how to get there. And I'm one of them. It puzzles me to see people endeavoring hard, working hard in a little propaganda thing to get the site moved. When you talk about relocating the site, they really relocated it. They took it upstream. All right, now let's take a look a little bit at excuse me, the sandbar. You see that sandbar right here, how wide it is? Whenever you make a copy of a positive film to a positive film stock, it builds contrast, and the lights get lighter, the darks get darker. Now, you go enough copies, and this film subject right here will be a dark silhouette, and the sandbar itself would be just like white as beach sand. But that's not the way it was. And when Mr. Bob Hieronymus said that he walked on that white sandbar, I knew right then that he had never been there, because there's no white sandbars there. They're so not white, I'll show you what they are. That's the film site. This is an image taken during John Green's visit, allegedly in the next year, the next June. It may have been, I don't know, yeah, that's the next June, I think, yeah. Okay, but this is the same spot, the same area. That's the same log. See how dark it is? That's how it actually looks. So when someone says, I walk on the white sandbar, that's a big giveaway that they had not been there. Okay, let's go to the culverts. Now, on the other side of the film site, the one that I'm talking about that I know to be the film site, if you go up the hill 1,500 feet, 2,000 feet, you'll come across culverts on the side of the hill that had been tossed down the side of the mountain, allegedly by Bigfoot. And they had been wrapped around trees and unable to salvage them. They'd just been there all these years. They're still there. I doubt anybody's going to go up there and dig them out. There's Don Monroe. See the size culverts they are. Acorns all around. See this acorn? You see them up in there? One of them was bent about 40 degrees, 45 degrees around a tree. And these were mentioned in a book. The Bigfoot threw this and threw some fuel barrels down the side of the hill, full of diesel. This is where they threw them from. It's straight down. It's literally, we climbed up out of this and it was a cliff there practically. You could reach out. You could reach out and touch the hillside in front of you, right there in front of your face. It's very difficult to climb out of, but this is where they toss those culverts off. There's a road right here, an old road that is no longer functional. It used to go down to the film site at one time. Now, this is a photo of the film site, and it's still got those bands on it, this log. And this was taken of, I'm not sure who took it. This was Dahinden, Rene Dahinden's film. His camping area at the film site, and that's his son. I believe his name is Eric. I believe. And there is one of the most popular guns you'll ever see. Model 700 Remington 30-06 bolt action. All these savvy Bigfoot hunters had one of those. Or they passed one around. Well, anyways, I digress. Now this one's not nearly as good. It's also of one of Renee's expeditions down into Bluff Creek in the film site. And that goes back to Al Hodson's photos. Here's a picture I took. This would be entering the site from the upper end. Here's a comparison. This would be Peter Gatilla's coming in from the lower end, and that's one I took coming in from the lower end, the same identical spot. Anyways, that's all I have. And hopefully you'll get some good out of it. Make up your own mind. Go to the film site of your choice. I hope you choose the right one, though. And I thank you for your time.